Man, okay, I'm a little out of my element right now, man. Shout outs to all the chingones and chingonas. You know what? We're just doing a lot of things around the house, a lot of things around the casa. If I seem a little bit crooked, it's because I don't have my table right here. We're moving all kinds of things around. I'm building a closet over here, getting rid of a lot of things, man. Es la vida, Holmes. Es la vida. What's up, JC, Jesus, M, Impala? Hey, man, let's go ahead. Let's bring in the chingones, man. I'm talking about one, Mr. David Contreras.
Hey, I guess you're doing spring cleaning, huh?
Oh man, we're doing it in winter. You know,
but spring's around the corner, right?
It's Southern California. I mean, what kind of winter do we even really have? You know, compared to the rest of the country. I mean, it gets cool, but it's still sunny outside and cosas así. So, estamos bien acá. You know, I feel blessed. There's a lot of work to be done, but it's a blessing because we're bringing in new things and getting rid of old things.
Exactly. Hey, brother, you know what? I missed you, man. I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. Last week I was in San Diego and I had really bad internet problems, so I couldn't go through. But the week before I was tied up. Pero hey, we're here, man. We have a lot of great things to talk about. Listos para entrarle.
Yeah, Mike Zavala should be joining us. We hope he jumps on here soon, man. But if not, hey, aquí estamos, so hay que darle gas. First, you know what? Let's talk a little bit about the fight that flew under the radar last Saturday, David. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it between Vargas and Foster. Did you get a chance to watch that fight?
You know what? Yes, I did. I watched it, and yes, I watched it, and I was surprised because number one, I had never heard of Foster, but now I'm going to keep my eyes on Foster because you know what? He's a force to reckon at 130. I like that guy. You know what? It was a good fight. Vargas needs to go back to 126 and stay at 126. He needs to stay at 126.
Mira, well, first of all, what's up, Dos Matador SSC? Mira, I was watching the fights with my sons, right? And I do want to get to the co-main event, but I was watching the fight with my sons, and they're just tripping out. They're like, man, there's a guy that's 5'10", and he's fighting at 126 pounds. I mean, yeah, the fight took place at 130, but yeah, that he needs to go back down to 126. It's like, wow, man. Yeah. He is so one-dimensional.
Yes, he is.
David. The vato, he very, very predictable. I like Vargas. I do. Pero very, very predictable. There was no changing, no adaptations. He didn't do anything different. Lo mismo, lo mismo, lo mismo, lo mismo. I was like, wow, he has fight in him. He's a warrior, and I give him that respect. Pero he has no tricks, David.
But you know what? He fired Nacho Berenstein. So that was his first fight without Nacho Berenstein, number one. Number two, who told him that he was great at the Mayweather, what do they call that, shuffle, that shoulder shuffle? All of a sudden he's doing the shoulder shuffle and this guy's cocking him with the left hand. You know what? He needs to go back to Nacho Berenstein, and he definitely needs to go back at 126. I don't see him a champion at 130. I don't see him. This kid Foster, I was very surprised. I like how he fought. I mean, his foot movement was good. His hand movement, he's fast and he hits hard too. So I want to see him fighting the champions at 130. It's gonna be good.
What's up, Kerry Copito, J.M. Ortega? Well, you know what? Let's ask the scientist, man, the boxing scientist, Mike Zavala.
What's up, man? What's up?
Hey, man, you're showing the big muscles, huh?
Oh yeah.
Orale.
And it's on the big shirt. You see the logo, guys?
Yeah. Orale.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Okay. Yeah, guys, we're talking about
last
We're talking
Saturday.
about the Vargas fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like Dave said, he was trying to do the roll, the Mayweather roll or the Philly shell, whatever the Philly shell,
No.
and that's not his style, man. And he didn't have Nacho Belistain. According to Vargas, Ray Vargas, he said that Nacho Belistain wasn't there. That he's not his real 100% coach, but he trains with him 2 days out of the week. And he says that every time he went to the gym in La Romanza, I guess, he wasn't there. There was no sparring partners. Who like, what's going on? And then they showed Nacho Beristain, and he said they had a problem prior to this fight. The fight before, there was a problem, and that's why he couldn't work with them anymore. So I don't really know 100% what happened, but he was using the shoulder roll. He didn't adapt, and he didn't know how to break the shoulder roll. He was just doing the same thing every day. And there's ways how to break the shoulder roll. You watch the Canelo versus Plant. You watch Mayweather versus Gotti. He teaches us how to break the shoulder roll. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just very, very one-dimensional. He was not able to do anything different. There was no tricks up his sleeve. Foster won. I mean, Ray, he was in the fight, and he landed some punches and that stuff. But there was really nothing there. I was like, we're watching the fight. I was starting to get a little bit bored, not because there wasn't any action, but because there wasn't anything different. He goes in there and it's the same every round. It seemed like it was the same round, like Foster himself didn't have to do anything different either. Once he figured out, hey, this is his game plan, and the Vato's got nothing else going for him. Oh, I just got to do the same thing and same movidas, man, and I'm gonna keep catching him. And he did. So well, we'll see what happens with Foster. Hey, real quick, do you guys think Foster is a real threat at 130 when you think about the guys at 130, Mikey?
I don't really know Foster from what I've seen. I mean, he's solid. He's good. Who's at 130? Just refresh my memory.
Navarrete, Valdez.
Hector man, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Navarrete will beat him, and Valdez will give him a good fight. If Valdez is in his A game, but I don't think he could beat Navarrete. Oh no, nope.
David,
I think it's 50-50, man. And you know what, Hector Garcia, he's out. He'll tear up Hector Garcia.
Really?
So he'll be able. I think he'll tear up Hector Garcia. Oh yeah. Especially after we saw Hector Garcia give up on the Gervonta Davis fight. So I don't see much with Hector Garcia, but I would like to see him fight Valdez. That would be a good fight. But you know what? Valdez is going to fight Navarrete. So I don't think we'll see Navarrete. I think Valdez will beat Navarrete. So I don't think we'll see him. Now that would be a good fight. Him and Valdez. I got Valdez on that one.
Okay. Well, first of all, Hector Garcia moved up to fight Tank Davis.
Yeah.
And that's just a different animal, man. I'm not gonna look down too much on Hector Garcia on that, except for what that interview they did have where he was talking about that he can beat any Mexican because their style is easy to beat. But Foster, I think Valdez takes him out easily like that,
I don't know about easy, but I think he'll take him out. I think he'll take him out,
man. Yeah. I think he could compete. I think he can. Look, it's boxing. We got to get them in there to see what happens, right? The Navarrete Valdez, obviously, that's going to be something to watch. I'm telling everybody right now, man, I don't see Navarrete getting past Valdez. I just don't. I see a knockout.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Did you see that stellar performance? Coming out, getting almost dropping the mouthpiece. When we talk about Ed, the Colmillo. Oh, yeah, Ed, we didn't talk about that last time. Did you talk about the Colmillo? That's the Ed conversation. You didn't see that? Oh, my God. That was beautiful.
Not only does he knock him out, he probably knocks him out going forward the way he did Burchell. Okay.
Wow.
I'm telling you. Wow. But you know what, Foster? Look, it's interesting. It's interesting to have somebody else solid in that weight class to see what happens. So the fights have to happen. Hey, real quick, the co-main event. It was the return of Mario Barrios after coming back-to-back losses. One, he had a knockout loss at 140 against Tank Davis, and then he had another loss in a huge pay-per-view PBC fight. That's what PBC likes to sell us, against Keith one time, sometime, no time Thurman. He's filled up at 147 now. He looks solid. He looked good. I like what I saw from Mario Barrios. David, Mario Barrios, he's only got 2 losses. He's a young kid. He's got a pretty good record. Where the welterweight division is right now, Spence looks like he's pretty much gone. Can Mario Barrios make a somewhat of a decent name for himself?
No, I see him as a gatekeeper.
Okay.
I see him. I don't see him a world champion. Not when you got Virgil Ortiz. Not when you got Boots Ennis.
Oh no.
Not when you got Stanonius. I mean, you got some heavy hitters, man. Right now, 147. I see him as a gatekeeper. Yeah, good gatekeeper though. I mean, he'll be a good gatekeeper. Yes.
Mikey, is he something like a Josecito Lopez was?
Yeah, like a gatekeeper. He's a good name. He'll give you a scare if you're not the real deal Holyfield. He will beat you. He's there to win. Gatekeepers are there to win. He's not a journeyman. Journeymen are there to survive. Gatekeepers are there to win. He's there to win, man. He'll give you something.
Yeah.
But like Dave said, there's bangers in the 47. He's not up there. He can't hang with these guys. But there's a young stud coming up, young lion. Put him with Barrio. See where's that to measure him. You know what I mean?
Hey Cholo, do you mind if I answer Kerry Copito?
No,
in Spanish. Kerry Copito, todos los miércoles a las 7 de la noche, tiempo pacífico, tenemos el show en español. So, si quiere mirar todo el show en español, los miércoles a las 7, tiempo pacífico. Esta semana vamos a tener a José Benavides, el papá y entrenador de David Benavides, con nosotros. Los miércoles a las 7 de la noche. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna call him a gatekeeper yet. Because I'm not gonna say he made a believer out of me. But I like what I saw. I did. I think he's getting better. And okay. I'm interested to see where he goes next. So if I had to bet money on it, yeah, I would say he'd probably be a gatekeeper, kind of like a journeyman. But I'm not ready to throw him in there yet. He had that fight with Tank Davis. He had that fight with Keith Thurman. I think this kid's growing, and how much that I don't know. If he just grows 1 inch and that's it, then hey, he's a gatekeeper. But hey, he could grow a foot and start doing some pretty good things, man. So
Ed, let me ask you a question. Before he fought Tank Davis, had you ever heard of him?
No.
Before he fought Thurman, the only time you had heard of him was Tank Davis, right? He was a skater.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so he's had 2 great fights, and now they put him up there. But somebody just said he's a skater. I think El Azteca or JC did. So I mean, they're pushing somebody that's a gatekeeper to be a champion. PBC is once again.
Yeah. Well, I definitely don't want to help the PBC sell pay-per-views. That's for sure, man.
Yep.
Oh man. Hey, gentlemen, we do have some fights to talk about. We'll get to those. Especially one that I'm really looking forward to, man, that's happening across the pond. But there's some news in the world of boxing. When isn't there? This is our novella that we love, man. One is Edgar Berlanga no longer with Top Rank. He says, Chales, I'm out. I'm going to go where they treat me right, where they treat me good, where they treat me like a superstar that I am. He signs with Matchroom. He's over there with
superstar that I am not. You meant
no, that he believes that he believes that he is.
Okay, all right.
He believes that he is.
He is okay.
So, yeah. So and by the way, I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be really fair. The kid, he is somewhat of a star. I'm not saying can he box. That's another topic. But for what he's done, for where he's at, he's pretty known, so he is somewhat of a star. I think that he believes that he's a much greater fighter than what he really is. But David, what do you make of him going over with the zone with Matchroom and leaving Top Rank?
Well, I mean, we know why he left Top Rank. I mean, Top Rank basically saw that he's not the star that he thought he was once they put him in with Rolls. Even Steve Rolls, I mean, the guy was 39 years old, I believe, went up in weight to fight him. And it just shows you that, you know what, it's all about the money. I don't see him changing. They're saying now that he's going to fight. What's the name of that older guy? He's an older guy with a big, thick white mustache.
Oh yeah, Sullivan. He wants to get Sullivan.
Yeah, Patty Sullivan or whatever, but he's beat him. So they're going to put him in with fighters like that. And I don't see him putting in with Jamal Charlo. I don't see him even with Bubu Andrade, whom I can't stand. I don't see him putting him with him, but they're promising him Canelo. And they'll probably give him Canelo when Canelo's 52 years old. They'll probably give him Canelo when he's 52. But as of right now, he can't fight the top 168 pounders. He can't. I'd like to see him fight Munguia at 168. I think Munguia will knock him out. Now, I would love to see that fight just to see Munguia knock him out.
Yeah. Kerry, ahí nos miramos el miércoles entonces, camarada.
Huevo.
Vamos recio.
All right. Mikey, he's now over with the Zone, man. There's a lot of rumor of they did tell him that they will give him Canelo at some point. What do you make of him going over with Matchroom and signing with those guys?
Matchroom's hot right now, man. He like Dave said, and man, Top Rank, they know how to make stars, man. They made Pacquiao, Mayweather, De La Hoya, and the list goes on, right? But this guy he wasn't the real deal. It wasn't. They couldn't make him, so they let him go. So another man's trash is another man's treasure. So he has a good name behind him, a good following, Puerto Rican. That helps. If he gets his act together, it could be he could get some good fights, man. So as of for now, I got discouraged by him. I felt he gave the boxing a black eye by trying to bite somebody. So if he doesn't make it, I don't really care, dude, because you don't do that, man. We love the sport. We're aficionados, and when you see trash like that, I don't respect that. But he is human, and we have to give him a second chance. So we'll see. I hope he makes it. We'll see. But as for now, he's not the real deal, Holyfield, man.
First of all, man, you guys on the chat are wrong calling him Bernalgas, Holmes. Come on, man. Yeah.
He's ass.
Okay. All right, man. Let me Munguia versus Berlanga would be great. 100% says SSC. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we all know this kid does not have those skills, man. We all know that. For those that actually really truly watch boxing and know what boxing skills are, this guy does not really possess that great of skills. He became a star because he fights in New York. As Boricua, he panders to the Puerto Rican crowd. He's doing all the right things. He's doing all the right things, man. Showing that Puerto Rican pride and everything like that. And the Puerto Rican are a proud bunch and have a rich history in boxing. And boxing is just so much better when you have, a good Puerto Rican fighters in there. He's not one of them, though, man. He's not one of them. Can he get better? Yeah, I don't see him ever being great, though. I see him getting a little bit better, but never to the point where he can really compete against the top dogs. Everybody at 168 that is a name, I think, beats him. I think Bubu Andrade beats him. I think Benavides beats him. I think Caleb Plant beats him. I think Munguia beats him. I think Canelo beats him.
The Cuban kid.
Yeah, Morrell. Morrell.
David Morrell. Kill him.
David Morrell, I think, will kill him. Everybody who's somebody at 168, I think beats him. This kid does not have that. And you're right, Mikey. I completely forgot that, se lo echó a mordidas, man. He started biting. So that's something else. Now that he signs here, they're promising him, it's boxing, so that he will get a Canelo fight, and I think he does. Not next, but maybe at the end of next year, if Berlanga gets 2 more victories, even if they're against nobodies, even if they're against complete nobodies, he still became, his popularity still there, man. So maybe at the end of next year, I could see that happening.
You know when they kicked him to the curb when Sayas, his last fight in New York, and Berlanga wanted to walk him into the ring, and Sayas said, "Hey, get away from me. I don't want you near me."
Wow.
Right after that, that's when Top Rank said, "You know what? You're out." I mean, for Sayas, Sayas is the real deal. He's the next 157 world champion. We all know that, right? But for
54.
Sayas to say, because he was wanting to walk him down the ring, and Sayas goes, "No, I go in alone. I come out alone. I go in alone." So I mean, that right there, when that happened, I saw it live. I go, you know what? They're gonna kick him out. And a couple of weeks later, Top Rank got rid of him.
And just another thing, guys, it's marketing genius by Eddie Hearn. You're getting somebody that's got kicked out. They got dropped from Top Rank, and he's a zero. But if you mention him with Canelo, it's headlines, man. Now we're talking about Berlanga versus Canelo. Like, come on. We were talking that we didn't even think about that, putting Berlanga and Canelo in the same sentence. But now Eddie Hearn signed him, and he guess what he said? He might fight Canelo. Now we're talking about it, and now his star status is back. Now we're thinking, what if he does 2 wins? What if he gets 2 to say? What if? So that's marketing genius by what's his name? Eddie Hearn. So propers to him, man.
Well, let me tell you, the zone just went up in price. I was paying, I believe when I first started with the zone, a year was $99. And then it went up to what, 150? Now it's going up to 224. And now that Berlanga's there, to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm going, not because of Berlanga, but I don't know if I'm going to go pay the 224 plus all these pay-per-view fights. I mean, yes, Canelo fights a lot, but it's going to be pay-per-view. A lot of the fights. So it went up to 224 this morning. I mean, I've got it here in front of me. So, I mean, not because Berlanga's there am I going to say, oh, I'm going to pay 224 a year. You know, I think I might just go month by month, see who's fighting. 24.98 a month. I might actually go month by month, because why pay when all of their fights are turning out to be pay-per-view now too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I like Xander Zayas, man. That kid is very, very promising. Berlanga hasn't fought a 12-rounder, right? Okay, so like I think his first 15 or 16 fights were all like first round, second round knockouts. So that's why he sparked a huge interest. His last last 3 fights?
3 fights.
They all went the distance.
Yeah, and he got knocked down on one.
Yeah,
he got knocked down.
Yeah, they're all. I believe they're all 10 rounders. Yeah, because the competition stepped up.
Yeah,
just a little bit. It's not like the competition went from here to here. No, it was from here just to like right there. And he struggled, man. He really struggled. So well, we'll see what happens with Edgar Berlanga. I am interested. You know, that's the thing, man. They market them very well. You know, Top Rank markets their fighters very well, and even if they don't got skills or anything, you are interested to see where they go. So, speaking on that real quick, okay, you're talking about the zone, David. All right, so it's still not set, to the best of my knowledge, it's still not set in stone that Canelo's fighting John Ryder. But all of it is leading that they're going to be fighting in Mexico.
Yes,
there's still no word if this fight is pay-per-view or not. In my opinion, this fight should not be pay-per-view. Is Canelo a pay-per-view star? Yes. Yes, he is. But not this fight. How say you, David?
No, not at all. Not at all. And it shouldn't be. That's why you're paying so much money with the zone. I'll wait and see. If it's pay-per-view, you know, it shouldn't be a pay-per-view fight. I mean, because all 3 losses that John Ryder has are people that Canelo beat. All 3 losses are people that Canelo beat. So now you're putting him with somebody that 3 people he's already won. It's not pay-per-view. I hope they don't try to sell it as pay-per-view. And if they do, it's going to be a flop, even though it's Canelo.
Mikey, what do you make about this fight possibly being in Mexico? And should it be a pay-per-view? Canelo is a pay-per-view star.
Yeah, I mean, man, unfortunately, it probably is going to be a pay-per-view fight. Canelo could fight a taxi cab driver, and it'll be pay-per-view. It's just the spectacle, what he brings, the star power. You seen him in the NFL halftime Super Bowl. He's a mega star. He's the cash cow. So they put the right undercards under it. They marketed it in Mexico and Guadalajara. They make it like a Super Bowl type. It's going to be pay-per-view. And unfortunately or fortunately, we are going to buy it. So I believe it's going to be pay-per-view. Canelo could fight anybody, and it'll be pay-per-view.
Yeah, yeah, and he was in the Super Bowl commercial. So yeah, this guy's really doing some big things. And you know what, Impala? I think that's probably what they're gonna be leading to Mungia versus Berlanga, and I think Mungia takes them.
Yeah.
I,
Oh yeah.
I, I mean, that's another guy that I'm kind of like, okay, when is this guy gonna really start fighting somebody? And because Berlanga is a notable name, not that he's a somebody, but he's a notable name, this is going to be a big fight for Mungia. But, I don't think it's going to be pay per view. I hope not. I really hope not. If he fights Dimitri Bivol again, make that one pay per view. Okay, I thought madre, but not this one. I hope they don't make this one pay per view. But anyway, gentlemen, we got a few undercards. We got to get to Tank in just a bit, but we got a few undercards that have now came out for the big fight between Plant and Benavides. David, you want to enlighten us a little bit, brother?
Yeah, you know what? Let's talk about Wood. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. Or just give me a second. Let me just pull it up. I thought we were going to talk about it at the end, but no big deal. I got it right here. It's a great undercard, by the way. Right here. We got the Benavides Plant undercard. Jesus Ramos versus Joey Spencer. That's
good.
a good fight.
That is good.
You got Chris Colbert versus Jose Valenzuela Rayo. That's a damn good fight.
Yeah.
And the one that I really like is Cody Crawley versus Abel Ramos. That's Jesus Ramos's Theo. And Jesus is undefeated, by the way. And this is right here, I don't know if you could see it or not. That's a
yeah. Mikey, after hearing the undercard and the interest of Spence and Benavides, we've criticized PBC, and rightfully so, with all their dumb, stupid pay-per-views. Now, this fight, Benavides versus Plant, it's not for any major title. Canelo's got all those. But is this pay-per-view worthy to you?
Yeah, it's pay-per-view. This is a pay-per-view. There's some, maybe because I've seen some fights that aren't even that are like, dude, are you serious? Are these pay-per-view fights? This was pay-per-view worthy. They got the good undercards. Benavides is the Mexican monster, and Plant, man. It's gonna be a good fight, man. I hope it's a good fight. I believe it's a pay-per-view.
David, I mean, that's a nice undercard. It really is. And in a time where people just focus on the main event and just throw in whoever just to fill in for the undercard, this one, it looked like they actually put some work to it. Again, there's no real major title in the main event or anything, but is this pay-per-view for you, David?
You know what? Just Benavides versus Plant, to me, that's pay-per-view.
Okay.
But you know what? This right here, Jesus Ramos, he's undefeated. I believe Joey Spencer, too. I like Joey Spencer.
Yeah.
He's a good fighter. Good. Just that fight alone, right there, man. I mean, that's icing on the cake. And then Chris Colbert against Joseba, they both have 2 knockout losses. Yeah. I mean, that's pay-per-view. And then Cody Crawley versus Abel Ramos, which is Jesus Ramos' Tío, has 1 loss. I mean, that's a great card, man. I mean, I like to see Oscar compare his card, the Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia, to a card like this. Hopefully, and that's a pay-per-view fight, it's going to be just like this or even better, but I doubt it.
You know what, man, this is a nice stacked card.
Yes.
I know, we keep on thinking about back in the days, and it's like, man, you know what? It was always an event for pay-per-views and things of that nature, because I think PBC has gotten us so used to these weak pay-per-views, man, which is just insulting to boxing.
Yeah.
This one, I'm gonna kind of look the other way and not give them any heat for it, because I think this is pretty good. I want to go ahead and say, you know what? Good on you for giving us a nice, good stacked card. You know, Colbert, Rayo, that's some good stuff, man. This is one where I want to watch every single fight. I'm a fan of Joey Spencer. I am. And, man, this is going to be good. let's see if I can make it to that. I'm really excited for this one. So yeah, pay-per-view. Okay. All right, so be it. And the main event, it has everybody's interest. Whether there's a major title or no major title, the fact of the matter is it does have everybody's interest. So yeah, I mean, what else can I say about that card? Hopefully everything stands, and we don't have people dropping off here and there and stuff like that, because that can really ruin things. Gentlemen, before we get to the fights tomorrow, Tank Davis pleaded guilty. I hear it's a roller coaster ride. I hear it's a good thing. I hear it's a bad thing. He won't be sentenced till May. David, you worked a lot in law enforcement. That was your career. What does this mean to you, man?
You know what? I hope he goes to prison.
Okay.
I hope he goes to prison. When I was reading some of the court transcripts on the case, it was a hit and run. One of the victims was pregnant, and she was actually trapped in the car, and she saw Tank Davis. They saw eye to eye, and she told him, help me, I'm pregnant," and he took off. The other, I believe 2 or 3 victims have already been paid off because they had a civil lawsuit. He's already paid them off. She hasn't accepted a penny from him, even though she is filing a civil lawsuit against him. I mean, how can you leave a pregnant woman and she tells you, I'm pregnant, in a car, whether, I mean, it's on fire, and I'm not saying it was on fire, but either way, and take off. And she says she saw his smirk and take off. I like Tank Davis, but you know what? You play, you pay. And you know what? He committed a crime, and this is a crime.
Yeah.
Let him fight. Let him make his 10, 20 million dollars, but let him do 1 to 2 years. Mike Tyson did, they all do. You know what I mean? Let him go to prison. He needs to go to prison behind this. You don't leave a pregnant woman in a car like that. You don't. At least I do.
Yeah.
Hey, Mikey, now they plead guilty. Does this fight happen, or do you think it doesn't happen?
I mean, it adds to the spectacle, to the drama.
Yeah.
We've seen him in the Super Bowl in a wheelchair. He's in court. And now he a pregnant woman. Davey, explain it to us. I'm not 100% sure what happened. I haven't read the transcripts. You know what I mean? But from where there's smoke, there's fire. He's in trouble. He's always in trouble. Like, man, I don't even know if this fight's gonna happen, man. So, he's in a wheelchair during the Super Bowl, and what happened there? Yeah, man, I don't know. That gives even Brian Garcia more of an edge, man. I don't know what to think of it, man. This guy just needs to just step away and just I don't know, man. He's got a wrong circle around him.
He's his worst enemy. He's his worst enemy.
Yeah.
So okay. First word was that he had that he had hurt his ankle, and that's why he was on a wheelchair. But then later on, a lot of people came out and saying, like, no, he was just pedo. He was just tore up.
Oh, he looked pedo. He looked really down. Yeah.
So, David, does this fight happen? Does this affect the fight at all? I mean, he doesn't get sentenced till after the fight. Should the fight even take place? Does this fight happen?
I think it does. I'm not going to bet 100 push-ups on it, but I think it does. I think it's going to happen. I think it's all like Mikey said, it's all part of the drama. It adds up. But I think that I think it's going to happen. And now I was leaning toward him beating, Garcia. But you know what? Right now, with all his personal drama, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's going to be all there. But like I've always said, his worst enemy, just like Mike Tyson, is Mike Tyson. His worst enemy is himself.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I was picking Ryan to begin with, but to me, it's kind of a coin flip. I think either one stands a really good chance to beating the other guy. This guy's definitely got a lot going on in his life, and if he has it in his mind that he's going to get incarcerated, I just don't see how you can have your head focused during training camp. Especially if you're looking at, a year or two or something like that, where it's like, dang, like I'm gonna be gone for a minute or two, I just
Ed, you
don't.
know what? Don't quote me on that. I
Mm,
want him to get locked up. I
okay.
don't think he's going to get locked up. There's a
Ah,
reason why he pled guilty. And
okay.
there's probably some deal that they made with the district attorney, and they're going to give him probation, or they're going to give him time served, or maybe custody, in-home custody. I mean, don't quote me on that. I want him to do time, but I really don't think so. That's the reason why he pled guilty, because there's probably a plea deal in the making.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Okay.
happens all the time.
All right. Gentlemen, man, in my opinion, we have a true contender for fight of the year that's going to take place tomorrow across the pond. And I cannot wait for this. Now, they're up against a tough one because, some of the ladies have been putting on some pretty badass fights, but Mauricio Lara, Lee Wood, across the pond, man, I don't even know where to start with this, other than this is not to be missed. When
Wow.
as boxing fans, some of the greatest fights are not the biggest fights. And that's why I keep on telling people, it's like, hey, you know what, man? Watch these guys, but if people don't care, if people don't know who these guys are, it's like, I don't really care. But it's like, no, but you know what? Tell people about it. So in case they're not doing anything at that time, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember so-and-so told me there's a fight. Let me go ahead and check it out, And this is one of them. This is definitely one of them. David, what do you make of this fight, man?
You know what? This reminds me of Barrera Morales. As a matter of fact, I believe today is one of the anniversaries of one of the 3 fights of Barrera and Morales. And this reminds me of that. This is going to be chingazos from round 1 to whenever it stops. And I have Mauricio Lara winning this one. But I see that. I mean, immediately they're going to go at it. And it's going to be a good fight. And I agree with you. It's potential for fight of the year.
Wow.
Okay. Mikey?
Yeah, guys, this one under the radar. I did not see this one. I seen the picture and I read a little bit, but it went under the radar. Man, I got to do some research and study some tape. It's happening. It's gonna happen tomorrow. I definitely ain't gonna miss it.
David, you picking Lara even though it's taking place across the pond?
Yes, I mean he beat Warrington over there.
Okay.
I mean he's been over there several times.
Right.
So yeah, I got Lara on this one. I mean Michael Conlon was beating Wood, and Wood came out with that lucky punch at the 12th round, but Michael Conlon had him. You know what I mean? So and Lara is going to go in strong, man. I mean this kid. I mean we saw him against Warrington. I mean Lara he's not that famous. It's funny in America or in Mexico. But those fights that he's had across the pond have just like, wow, look at this guy. I mean, who? If I would ask you right now, who has Lara fought in America? You can't tell me one. Tell me one.
No, they're all across the pond.
Exactly.
This is becoming. This guy's becoming the Mexican star over there in Europe, Holmes.
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And you know who's becoming like that? El Venado. Venado, same thing. I mean, he won his championship over there, and now he's going back in April. We just had his coach Rene on the show. He's going back in April to fight Michael Conlon in Ireland. So there's another one that's famous over there, not over here,
And gentlemen, I have a question. You're saying that this guy, he's gone over there and he's got decisions or he's got knockouts. Yeah. They haven't robbed him. And then Venado went in there. They haven't robbed him. So what I'm trying to see, what I'm reading is that they want those fighters over there. If they rob them, they're not going to go over there no more. Because if you're doing the Mexican with those Europeans over there, dude, it's gonna get the fans from here over there, and they bang over there. So and the Mexicans bang over there too. So no wonder they don't rob them then.
Yeah, and I'm not down with it, man. That is what I've been screaming from the top of the hills about this, man.
Yeah,
they are taking the sport of boxing over there. I don't like it. I don't like it. Keep boxing on this side of the world. Damn it, man. We're losing it. But look, let me go ahead and say this. First of all, David, I don't think Lee Wood landed a lucky punch. He did get knocked down by Michael Conlon. Okay, he did knock him down. He got back up. This guy, Lee Wood's a
Oh,
warrior.
he's tough. He's a
He
warrior.
knocked
Yeah.
Conlon out of the ring. I mean, it
Yeah, I
was
saw it.
crazy.
Okay, now I
He knocked-
know.
Yeah, he knocked him out of the ring. This guy's a warrior, man. I was leaning towards Lee Wood. I really was, man. But the amount of punches that Lara throws,
Wow.
don't think Lee Wood is gonna be able to take all those punches. Because he gets hit. He does. Lee Wood gets hit a lot. He's a warrior, and he takes a lot of those punches. But Lara's coming with many more punches than I think he's ever fought. And if one of his game plans is I'll take a couple of your punches so I could land one, it's not going to work with Lara because you're going to take many more punches to land your one. And that's just not going to work for Lee Wood, man. This is going to be something crazy. I love this matchup. Do you see a stoppage, David? Do you see it going the distance? What do you see?
I see a stoppage. I see stoppage, 11th round. I see Lara knocking him out 11th round. Or them stopping the fight. Because you know what? It's going to be a bloody fight. I see them throwing in the towel to save him.
Wow.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I've been wrong many of times, but that's what I see in this fight.
JC says, great scrap. No easy for neither, but Bronco wins.
Yeah.
Man, I want to root for Bronco. I'm glad. I'm rooting for him that he's going to across the pond and making a name for himself, but I want him to come back here and have big fights here, man. I don't want to be watching these fights at 2 in the afternoon my time, man. I don't like that.
Yeah.
But man, I honestly coming into tonight, I was like, I'm gonna go Lee Wood, man. I think he's gonna win. I just started changing my mind just while we started talking about this. And I think Lara might take it again. Should Lara win this fight? Is he done fighting over there? I mean, can he start attracting fighters to come to him now, David?
Oh yeah, I mean he'll be a champ at 126. When he gets over here, he'll fight the winner of Brandon Figueroa. I mean, he could fight him. He could fight Vargas now. Vargas is coming back down to 126. So, dude, he's a champion at 126. There's a lot of great fights for him over here.
Yeah, Mikey, who do you got in this fight, man? This banger of a fight between Wood and Lara, man.
Man, I'm gonna have to go for the Mexican dude. He's a road warrior, and that Mexican heart, man, you can't never count it out, man. So I'm going for the Mexican. Vamos recio.
Yeah, this and we don't really hear about Mexicanos going across the pond. Don't really, it's a little bit odd that's why I think this guy stands out a little bit more because a lot of his fights are over there on that side of the world, which is crazy. It's kind of a little unheard of. So I hope he wins, and I hope he comes back over here and starts attracting fights to him. So, David, I'm with you. Bronco, he's not like a big superstar, but I hope he starts getting much more recognition, man. And I think he can do a lot of great things. We also have a fight, Luis Neri against I always mess up his name, Havanosian or something like that. Not too far from me, down the street from here. And I was gonna go to the fight, but I got quite a few things to do, and I'll be done doing the things I got to do about 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I don't want to be rushing to make it happen. But David, what's your thoughts on Luis Neri getting in there against Havanosian?
You know what? Before I answer that, I just pulled up El Bronco's fight card.
Yeah,
dude, the only two fights that I know about him, they were over there against Josh Warrington.
Right.
And other than that, Sergio Puente, Jesus Quijada, all these names, I don't recognize one. And he's 25-2 with one empate. I mean, once again, when I asked you, who has he fought here? We couldn't answer that. But we know him as a guy that goes across the pond. So, I mean, that's
And
who he
look,
is.
and look, if you guys remember, man, Warrington was a dirty fighter.
Yes, he was. Filthy fighter.
He was doing all these dirty tactics against
Yeah.
Lara, man.
Yes,
He was really, he was he was trying to get Bronco off his game completely, trying to do some low blows and put a shoulder in his face and some elbows. Warrington was a very, very dirty fighter, trying to get Lara off his game. Lara stood on it, and he got the victory. And Warrington, he's somewhat of a, I don't want to exaggerate and say he's a megastar over there, but he's got a pretty good following over there. So I'm glad they didn't rob him or do him dirty, because he did win the fight, even though Warrington was doing all these dirty tactics.
Yeah. Now, to answer your question, Nettie, and they called this a guy the crazy one. It's going to be a good fight, but I think they're both done. I don't see Nettie coming back, becoming a world champion at 122 again. I think he's done. I think I don't see him coming back. And Nettie has he's another one that his biggest enemy is himself. Nettie, he's his biggest enemy. Yeah. So yeah, that's you're right. Needs to lay off Adelitas. He likes ladies too much, right there. He's his worst enemy, without a doubt. Yes.
And Ira, and seeing Luis Neri, man, I wouldn't picture that the hyenas are all over him. He doesn't look like God's gift to women, man. Like a heartbreak kid or something. But Ira, man, he loves to party. He loves to do his thing, man. So I'm with you, David. I just think this is a good fight, but I don't think. I just don't think either one of these guys, it's to get them to go somewhere. It's just, hey, let's put on a good fight and let's make it happen. And that's it. Does it mean that these guys got like a great future in front of them? Personally, I don't think so. How say you, Mikey?
I mean, once upon a time, Neri was promising. He was with Canelo's team, and then he left and he lost. Now he's making a little comeback. It's for a title eliminator that I've been hearing of, that Armenian cat, what's his name? Hadmasian. He used to train with Robert Garcia up in Riverside, and he was ranked number this. They used to, when we used to talk with Eli Setback and Robert Garcia, used to talk about him, that he was pretty good. I don't know a lot about him, but I know Neri's a banger and this guy's a banger. So, hey man, it's gonna be like a bar fight. You want to see a bar fight? You're gonna see it tomorrow. It's gonna be good. Styles make fights, so they're gonna bang.
Yeah, good thing. Impala's asking JC, has he been to TJ? Because Neri loves it, man. Mikey, you know a little bit of something about that, brother?
Oh man, no comments. No inglés.
Hey guys, before we wrap it up, man, it's looking more and more that it's gonna be Teofimo Lopez getting in there against Josh Taylor. And not Josh Taylor versus Catterall, which I think a lot of people were very, I shouldn't say upset, but were really let down what happened with Taylor versus Catterall. And it's like, okay, all right, let's see them do it again. But now it's looking like it's going to be Teofimo Lopez versus Josh Taylor in a fight at 140. David, what do you make of this fight, brother?
You know what? I got Josh Taylor. Teofimo, that's another one. His worst enemy is himself, psychologically. Teofimo's not all there, and at 140, I don't see him as a force as a force at 140. At 135, he was great, but at 140, Josh Taylor. I mean, look what Josh Taylor did to Pro Grace. Well, you know what? I had Pro Grace winning that one. They gave it to Josh Taylor. Look what he did to Ramirez, Jose Ramirez. Josh Taylor's a real deal, and you know what? Teofimo, he should work his way up to Josh Taylor, not go right at Josh Taylor. I think that's a mistake, but you know what? Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Mikey?
Yeah, if you're going to beat Josh Taylor, this is the time to beat Josh Taylor. He didn't look so well versus Catterall. He can't make weight. He's like 5'11", right? 6 feet. How tall is he? I heard when he hugged, he shook hands and he gave a dap to Terrence Crawford. Hey man, he big. 140. He's tall, man. He's a big guy. and this is the timing. What if he drains out? What if he's been inactive? And for the reason Teofimo Lopez didn't get the Progress fight, Progress is coming off a great win. He's looking phenomenal. Nah, man, don't fight that southpaw. You have a better chance of fighting Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor's not. He's not looking like he is. He's really a 147 pounder. So this is the best time. If Teofimo's going to beat him, or somebody's going to beat him, this is the time because he hasn't fought and he didn't look so well his last fight. So and he's coming off of injuries.
But you know what, Mike? Josh Taylor, you know what his strength is? Psychological fighting.
Oh yeah,
When he fought Prograis, he got under his skin. Even Prograis said it. When he fought Ramirez, he got under his skin. Even Ramirez said, "You know what? That guy, he pissed me off." So you know what? And Theo, he knows that he's not out there. Oh, you know what? That's how he's going to beat him before he gets in the ring.
Hey,
yeah,
but,
I mean,
okay.
Yeah,
Let me ask you guys this though. Okay, the Progress, I think Progress is a really good fighter. Okay, when he beat Ramirez, I know a lot of people like Ramirez, man, and I respect the guy, and I think he's, you know, I got a lot of respect for Ramirez. But I'm gonna ask you guys, man, is Ramirez, is he really that good? Because to me, really, if I'm gonna be honest, I root for the guy. I like the guy. I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. I don't think he's all that, man. I don't think he's all that in a bag of chips. Mikey, am I tripping?
let me see. He's not. I don't. He doesn't have all the weapons. He doesn't have a lot of weapons. I don't know who he beat for his belts because they unified, right, to fight for belts and all that.
Yeah, for 140, yeah.
I gotta go back and study the tape, but I agree with you. He's not. I don't think he's that special, but he does things good. You know what I mean? He has hand speed. He has a good jab, and he had a good corner. And he was Mexican tough. That brings a lot. And Dave, I want to say something to you too, Dave. You said that psychological. Mayorga was psychological. Look where it took him. You know what I'm saying? Now I get you, but I get you.
Yeah, with a cigarette.
Yeah, he needs to get in Teal's head, and that's a good chance that they could happen. But yeah, I agree with you, Ed.
Hey, David, how sold are you on Ramirez? It was a good win. They unified the belts and everything, but I've never seen Ramirez as, you know, a top dog. Yes, he was champion. I get that, but I never really saw him like a great fighter.
I agree with you. He lost against Chon Cepeda. Okay. When he fought Chon Cepeda, dude, they gave him a gift. When he fought, ¿cómo se llamaba otro muchacho? Antonio Orozco, that was a good fight. But Orozco, I mean, I agree with you. You know what? He's not at that champions level. That's why I'm glad that he didn't fight Prograis. Well, I wanted to see him fight Prograis, but I had Prograis beating him.
Yeah.
I had, without a doubt, Prograis beating him. He's a good, strong Mexican fighter who just attacks. But somebody like Prograis will catch him. You know what I mean? He's not. I agree with you. We make him more than what he is. That's why he's going to be fighting. What's the name of that guy in Fresno? What's his name? He's fighting. He was supposed to fight Prograis, but they're not. Now he's fighting Comey. He's fighting Comey. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe he's fighting Richard Comey in Vegas. No. I mean in Fresno, I believe. In March, I believe.
Let me look it up.
Yeah.
No. Comey's not from Fresno. Comey.
No. He's fighting him in Fresno. They're making a big deal over Rick Merrigan, one of the guys in Twitter. He's his, I guess, promoter or something. They're making it really big. But I agree with you. Ramirez, I believe, is going to be a better politician than he is a world champion.
Yeah.
He becomes a politician.
And Ramirez does good in the Central Valley, anywhere, you know, Tulare, Visalia, Fresno, all that stuff, because that's where he's from, and he does have a good fan base there. And he is a solid fighter, but I just never thought he was really that great. So when Taylor beat him, I was like, okay, you know, good win, solid win. But to me, you didn't beat like a great fighter. And then I see you against Catterall, and I don't know, man. I kind of... I'm not saying Taylor lost the fight, but I kind of question it. I'm like, I don't know if you really won that fight, man. You know, we can go back and forth whether he won, whether he didn't win. So now when you got Teofimo Lopez, look, we all know it is no secret that Teo definitely has problems right here. His family and everything like that. His dad trying to be one of the posse and everything like that, trying to be more of his buddy, his homie than it is his dad and trainer. We all know that that's not a secret. I'm not so sure if Taylor beats Lopez. Mikey, you said it, man. If the time to beat Taylor is now, man, because he came off of a bad look against Catterall. He had an injury. He has a pretty long layoff. And now all that time, man, he still has to come down and make weight, even though he's kind of big for that weight. Yeah, I don't think it's too far-fetched to say Teofimo Lopez goes in there and le da pasos tacos, man. I'm gonna lean towards Teofimo Lopez, believe it or not, on this one, man. Wow. I am. I think Lopez can get him. Mikey, who wins that fight?
Man, I haven't seen Taylor in a long time. I like Taylor. He's a southpaw. He's tough. He gets in your head. He's mean. He just and when you hug and all that, he hits you behind the head. Te descuenta. In other words, you better be on you better be on what is it called? Defend yourself at all times. And if Teo sleeps, he will hit Teo, and he probably could hurt him. But Teo's been more active, even though Teo's a mencito. I give Teo a good chance, man. And the good thing is that for what's his name, Taylor, is that he's a southpaw, and Teo had trouble with Sander Martin. Now he's gonna see another southpaw, but this southpaw ain't gonna move that as much. So is he used to southpaws now? So I give Teo a good chance, man. Why not?
Yeah.
Perfect timing for him to beat him. Right now's the time.
Joe Lopez bringing up Mauricio Hooker was a good win for Ramirez. Yeah, man. But with that, gentlemen, anything else you guys want to throw out there? Anything else, man, before we wrap it up?
I got a couple of things, but I'm naming this one just because I love the sport so much. The WBC is going to they're going to rank Jake Paul in the top 40 list if he beats Tommy Fury, which Tommy Fury is not even ranked. So how are you going to rank somebody if he beats him and he's not even ranked? So this is what gives the game a black eye. Just because you're famous and you got money, and the WBC, they're mafiosos. Mauricio Sulaiman, he's a mafioso, man. That's not fair, man. It's not fair. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, no, you could tell he's a mafioso just the way he combs his hair, Holmes. Just like a vaca just licked the top of his head, man. Look, for anybody, if you guys have not seen Tommy Fury's record, yes, he has more fights than Jake Paul, but I don't know if he really got a better record. A lot of these guys that he beat have no wins with like 25 losses. So I don't know. Maybe Jake Paul has a better record than Tommy Fury, But no, I'm with you, Mikey. That's not right, man. It's not right. I like these fights, and I do think that Jake Paul is taking the sports, serious. I keep hearing that. No, he really is training. He is really putting the real work in. Cool, cool. Feed him and everything. I don't mind it, but you're a sanctioning body. You're the WBC. You're the ones that was there with the titles, for all the greats, man. The Ali's and the Fraziers. It's just so much rich history, man, that you really want people to take you serious. You've been criticized for a long time for all these little Mickey Mouse regular belts and stuff that you're making and stuff like that, and some of these mandatories. But why get involved with this? Just stay out of it, man. Why would you involve yourself in this? You don't need to be involved. That fight's going to sell itself. And you really want your name to be all over this? Like, yeah, the WBC was involved with Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. I mean, come on, man. Where's the integrity in that? So, but anyway, gentlemen, we will bring it to a close with that one. Shout outs to all the Chingones and Chingonas. That is one Mr. David Contreras out in Florida, man. How's Florida right now? How's the temperature?
You know what? The weather's very nice. But before I forget, next Wednesday, Please tune in to our Wednesday show. We're gonna have Cholo. Hopefully you can make it. We're gonna have Jose Benavides. I talked to him senior. I talked to him Monday. We spoke for a while, and he says that yes, he'll be on the show next Wednesday at 7 p.m. So we're gonna talk about one of the things that we talked about is him being a little vocal. Unusually vocal, calling him a bitch and so forth. And we're going to talk about that on the show. We're also going to talk about David, and we're talking about the upcoming fight and also about Rayo. Maybe get Rayo on the show with us like he did last time. So we're looking forward. So please watch the show Wednesday, 7 o'clock on Los Tres Chingones in Spanish.
The question is, Mikey, are you going to be on next Wednesday? I know you got stuff to say.
Damn, I've been talking a lot of shit to him about him. So, man, hope he don't call me a bitch. Hope he don't call me a bitch.
hey, guys, before we go, let's take just a quick little clip of that, man, so everybody can see what we're talking about. Check this out.
You calls all types of fighters bitches and pussies, and
I respect everybody. You a bitch. I respect everybody.
You may you may hear a banter between fighters. You may even hear a fighter say something like, "I've never lost to a white boy, and I'm not about to start now."
Who the fuck said that? When did I?
Anthony Durrell.
I'm
not talking about you.
Anthony Durrell, so don't bring that up. Like if I'm the one saying that shit too.
I didn't say you said that.
Finish what the fuck you gotta say.
Then shut the fuck up and quit interrupting.
What you wanna do? Okay, go ahead. Finish. You fucking crazy? What you wanna do? Go ahead and finish. What you wanna do? We could have got outside the fucking hotel. You're a fucking pussy. You had all your fucking people with you.
This dude ain't scared.
This dude ain't scared. That's what, man.
He's so mad.
He's so mad. I'm about to beat the fuck out.
He's so mad. You're not gonna do nothing.
I'm about to beat the fuck out this pussy right here.
So anyways, you hear Jose Senior, he calls fighters bitches and pussies, and you may hear that between fighters, but you don't normally hear boxing coaches talking like that.
That's great, man.
And there you go. And Mikey was over here talking about it. So Mikey, I'm interested to see if you're gonna be there next Wednesday. Man.
Oh man, I'm gonna match it with the same energy, man. I'm gonna bless you. Let's go on. Vamos.
Hey, I'm really gonna try to be there. Most likely, I'll be there, man. But with that, Chingones, you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the fights. Don't miss Wood versus Lara, the Mexican that keeps going to Europe and keeps making it happen, man. That's crazy. It's just in a way I kind of like it because it's out of the ordinary. But let's get them back on this side of the world, man. I don't want to lose them over there. But hey, you guys enjoy the fights. Whatever you guys do, be safe doing it so we can come back and do it again. Los Tres Chingones Boxing. Shout outs. We'll catch you guys next time.